Beautiful angle.
Planning, standing, all the time is spanning, waiting for the show to grow. Writing, fighting, all the new inviting, waiting for the show. Soon we'll see all the hard work's come to the peak. Have a seat. Now let's meet. This is Sirius AI, and we are seriously caffeinated.
And welcome back to another splendiferous, hydropowered, aquaponic, 100-degree day episode of Seriously Caffeinated. We've got the coffee. You don't mess with Texas. My name is Sean. Who's that guy under me?
And I'm John, and this is coffee. It just looks like whiskey. I promise it's not. It's coffee. It's
in
just a
Ireland,
very
they
light
call that just coffee. So you'd be good if you were in Ireland. You'd be very caffeinated.
Yeah. Well, it is definitely hot down in Texas right now, but I'm inside because I use my brain.
And I'm outside because I need the vitamin D to get to my brain so I can use it better. Look, I'm taking in all the sun. It's great. But enough about me and my vitamins.
We have a very special guest today. This is actually it's a stepping stone for us because I hope I don't make anyone that is potentially in this call right now blush or anything like that, but it's definitely a thrill and a blessing to be able to talk with a successful YouTuber, someone that we aspire to be and that we model a lot of our stuff off of. So today we are joined by none other than Lauren L of L Cartoons.
Yay! Oh, there she is. She's real.
Whoa,
she
appeared out of nowhere.
Like, you know how like people go from real life to cartoon? Well, it's just been cartoon to real life. Wow.
I wore the beanies. I always have to make sure to wear the beanie so people can know who I am.
It is on brand. It is recognizable.
Right, to stay on
so
brand.
happy to have you join us, Lauren L. Lauren L, about over a year ago, we had reached out and she graciously took about an hour with us. We talked through Sirius. She gave us some advice on how to build up and create, something that you really care about. Lo and behold, a year later, boom, the pilot's out, as you know, the viewers, and we really have Lauren L to thank for a lot of what propelled us to get there. I mean, just really hearing from somebody who's done this before, who's created, giving us these golden nuggets of advice that we took and helped us get from point A to point B. Just so grateful to have you as part of the Sirius family, Lauren L.
Oh, thanks. Actually, frick Lauren L. You could just call me L. Don't worry about
L it is.
You guys totally, I don't remember even what I said to you guys back then, to be honest, but you guys did this on your own. And I'm so proud to know you guys because I'm telling you, like, the masterpiece you guys made blew me away. And it only took a year, when that kind of thing does not usually take that short of time. So like, I'm honored flattered that you guys liked the whatever advice I said, and I'm really proud to know you guys. You kicked ass on your project.
Oh, my heart.
It's so good. It's so good.
Well, I mean, thank you so much, Elle. I mean, we really appreciate that. But I want to talk about you today. I want to get to know you a little bit, and I think that where we are in our journey is, now that we've created our content, the name of the game is navigating through the world of social media and YouTube. And I think that's like the next thing that we're focused on and we're trying to do. So I was wondering if you could tell us, if you were a superhero, what is your origin story? Who was L, formerly known as Lauren L, that we can't say anymore, or can. I'm not sure.
What is this? If
what
she
was
was
Elle
a superhero? I think we already know she is, but for the sake of the conversation, sure.
Yeah, tell us your origin story as a content creator.
Like how I started, I guess. What exactly? How do I start? What do I say?
It all began on a dark, stormy night. You know, something like
Okay. Okay. Well, I guess it started for me. I was I've always been like super obsessed with cartoons. I love telling stories. I'm an animated person, so I'm going to talk with my hands the whole time. I'm a very expressive person. Love cartoons to death my whole life. Knew I wanted to go to art college right when I got out of high school. But it was never necessarily to draw. It was, I mean, I like, I'm really interested in the whole storytelling aspect of things, comedic timing, character development, personality, just creating a world and developing the characters and the growth of the characters. That's just my favorite. Just the whole development process is my favorite. So actually animating and drawing is not like the thing I love the most. It's great to be able to do just so I can get my so I could communicate what I see in my head. But in a that's not my biggest passion is putting personality into a character and just like creating growth in a story. So basically what happened was I got a job at an animation studio after college. I was always like that very, very passionate go-getter person. Like I have to get my ass in a studio and I won't give up until I do. And I just went and networked. I guess if you don't like the word networked, I just found people on LinkedIn and got in touch with people, asked for advice in a brief and polite way, and just said, "Hi, it's so nice to meet you," whatever. And then I basically just reached out to so many people and asked for advice. And I found myself getting a job at an animation studio in New York called Titmouse. And they also have a studio in LA and they have a studio in Canada too. So Titmouse, I worked as a production assistant because I'm not a very good artist. Like I'm not very good at anatomy drawing, and you gotta know construction and perspective and stuff. And, you can't just like work as an artist in an industry and not have your skills in that area. And I just don't. Even though I graduated from an art school, it doesn't mean I was very good at drawing. But what I've always been complimented on was like my storytelling abilities. And I know how to put heart and soul into a story. And I happen to, I guess, be good at like the timing of things to make it comedic or make it powerful, hit the emotion on something. So I always, like I said, I became a production assistant at Titmouse. And production people, just so everyone knows, like they don't do the art, they're behind the scenes. They pretty much do all of PA is like you take notes during the meetings for the artists, you go around to the artists, you check in with them. It's a lot of like the paperwork kinds of stuff. You might like organize storyboards or whatever, but you're not doing the art, which is again not what I wanted to do anyway. So I ended up getting like promoted to a production coordinator, and I was there for about, I don't even know, 3 or 4 years, telling stories and making people laugh with my stories. So I would go home and I would like do these stupid doodles of my own stories, but I never, most of my life was taken up by this job at Titmouse. But like, I'm like, I wish there was a way for me to be able to tell make my funny content essentially, like, but be able to like be successful putting out my content, even though a network is never going to take me seriously because I can't draw. And at least that was my thoughts at the time. It's like, no network's gonna want to work with me if I show them a bunch of like drawings. They're not going to take me seriously. So I'm like, how can I prove that like I'm good enough. So I was on YouTube at work one day and I found this community called the Storytime Animation Community. And I was watching them and I'm like, this is exactly what I want to do. Like, I want to make these kinds of videos where it's just kind of like talking about your life and telling stories about your life and like making them funny and putting cartoons to them, and no one's taking the art so seriously. It's just like a fun thing. Because I always believe you don't have to take the art so seriously to tell a good story. So I knew right away I was very inspired to quit my job and go for it. And I did, and it ended up working out for me.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What I love about some of your content is that I remember when I was first looking at the videos on your page, I immediately got sucked in by a couple of the titles because I'm like, oh, like this is 100% relatable. It's triggering a key memory for me, and I want to see what it was like for her. For example, you have one that's about your first job, and I think we were dressing up for kids' birthday parties, right? I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I remember my first job. I want to hear about hers. First kiss too, and equally, for most people, awkward, embarrassing, or funny story. Like, oh, like I want to hear about hers because I remember mine so well. So I think that really is a big part of what pulls people in, is you're able to really meet people where they're at. And you know yourself better than anybody. So why not tell your story for things that people want to jump in and hear about? So
yeah, it's a really good point. Like, I mean, that's why I think that people really like this community is because the people the audience that we have that watches these types of videos are ones that kind of just want someone to relate to, I guess. And I like to put a comedic spin on some of mine. I like to like exaggerate them a little bit. Like for that first kiss video, that was like on Halloween, and I was in like this big fat pumpkin suit. But in real life, I had like a pumpkin shirt on. So like, I'm like, how can I make this funnier? So I'm like, what if I was wearing this big fat pumpkin suit? Like, so like I like to put a little comedic spin, a little exaggerated spin on some of my videos. The first job video was 100% accurate though. So, but some of them are a little exaggerated, but it's fun. It's just fun to like make stories, make animations about things that have happened like in my life. Just because like, it's like I get to share a piece of me with the world, and some people actually like it, and it's like cool. That's like the ultimate compliment, I feel like, is if people like my videos, they also kind of like me, I guess, which could be such a gift and a curse, because it's like if they like my videos, then they like me because I'm the main character. But if and then when the numbers get low, it's like they don't like my videos, they don't like me, and then it's like that's when your worth is like, you feel like your worth is like attached to your content, because I don't know, let's just say it was like a ride when the numbers start fluctuating, when you first start getting there, and then you're doing so well and then it drops and you're like, you take it personally. It's with my mental health bad. So
and do you have a team of people that help you with the videos, or is it usually just you do the drawings, you do the voice, and then you do the video editing? Do you have anyone that even just does the social media aspect of it?
No, I have like I had like a handful of semesters where I had interns that just people that are either gonna like doing it for college credit or they're volunteers. And I have 4 interns right now who are finishing up next week. And so they helped me with some of the video, but a lot of the internship is like me mentoring them too, like teaching them how to do a lot of things. And it's very fulfilling for me. That's why I really like it. It definitely helps too. Like they do help out with the video, but sometimes it slows me down a little bit. It's like a separate job to like mentor people.
Yeah.
And this is like 2 separate jobs. But once they are trained in the thing I train them in, it takes time but once they're trained, then they're helping with the videos. So yeah. And then I hire people sometimes for freelance. Like this one scene in my new video that I'm working on now, I have the teacher is in this perspective shot that I decided to do of like an up angle, and then she just like and like slams her pointer down on a desk, and it's like, yeah, I can't animate that. Like my skills are not there. So I hit up one of my friends from Titmouse. And I'm like, bro, can you please help me animate this? So yeah, I pay freelancers sometimes, but I don't have a team.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because like I definitely can relate to the, you know, the fluctuation, the viewership, like the subscriber count, like just I guess for me, like it's more so like I don't feel like my face is there. Like I feel like it's a product of a bunch of different people, or well, Sirius is. So I do tie myself worth to it, but also I don't think as much as like I need to do this for the rest of the team. Like this needs to be successful for them. But yeah, definitely just like how that messes with you, how that can like it sets your mood for the day, you know, when you wake
Yeah.
up and you see like plus or minus viewership or subscribers.
Yeah, it was something I really struggled with. I actually had to take the whole thing with me so bad. I had, oh, is it okay that I cursed? Is that okay?
Yeah, we can always bleep it out, you know.
Oh, sorry.
Don't
I'll
worry
try
about
to do that.
You got 500,000 subscribers. Some of your videos are in the million counts, but it's all relative, right? It's all about, you know, oh, is this better than my last one? And so it's unfair because clearly people are loving the content, but you know, in this era of social media, nobody's safe from the old anxiety and depression bursts, you know?
Yeah, I had to, it was like all of this, the stress of like my worth, like being attached or whatever to my videos and how my videos were doing and the comments and stuff. I mean, I had to take at least like an entire year off of YouTube, and I just focused on my mental health, and I focused on what's important in my life, and I had to get therapy. Like literally, I didn't post for a whole year because I was too stressed out. So
Yeah.
I took
Yeah.
I like risked my entire YouTube channel dying.
Wow.
I don't even care.
I mean, taking an entire year off. I mean, I don't know if this has always been. I mean, ever since like, you know, the moving pictures started coming out, like whenever movies were invented and all that stuff, like we first started getting celebrities and like people who like that's like I feel like many people today have this hard wiring in their mind that like, you know, and it makes sense for social media and YouTube and followers and stuff. Like the more people watch you, like the more successful you are. And so that makes it even tougher to be able to guiltlessly say like, yeah, I'm going to go like do other things for a little bit.
Yeah, it's like for me, like not to get like crazy deep or whatever, but
Please do.
yeah, I know you guys like that shit, right? You're like into like philosophy, right? Didn't you say?
Oh yeah.
What does it mean to be a human? Yes, that's all I talk
I'm
about.
the same way, dude. We should totally talk more often because I'm so into that shit, but I have no friends that are into that shit.
I am curious, Elle, what advice would you have for somebody who is looking to just get started, someone who was like us, you know, maybe 2 years ago when we realized we wanted to turn this into a cartoon, but we really had no direction to go. Someone who wants to create content and build a presence on YouTube, you know, starter pieces of advice for those people. What would you say to that person who's maybe watching this episode right now?
Hi. If you want to be a YouTuber, the first thing you need to do is kind of figure out like your niche, I guess. I mean, it's like I knew I wanted to tell stories in a comedic way, but it helped a lot that I figured out, like I found a community of that I feel like I would not fit into, but like, you know, kind of fit into, you know, find a community that's doing the thing that you want to do. That's kind of the first thing, because then there's already an audience for that. So like if you're then again, you could be someone like, I don't know if you see on the internet, there's like someone was like obsessed with making slime and doing like, there was no community for slime, but that person made a community for slime. So like, I mean,
yeah.
You could make a community yourself, which is obviously the way harder path, but it could work. But the best thing to do is kind of like find a community that you feel like you'd fit into, and just find something to almost model. So the first thing I did for me was when I found like a community that I was like, I could so see myself doing videos that are like this with my own spin on it. I studied the best videos in that community, and I was like, I took notes on them, and I'm like, it's not taking notes on like, how can I change myself to be like them? It's taking notes to see what are they doing? Why does it work? And just observing and learning about why what they're doing works. It's not to say you need to do that, but like for example, I saw that everyone in my community was making something called an end card, which is like at the end of your video, they say hey, like, and they say a little thing, like they talk to the fans, and then they have like fans fan art rolling across. So I saw everyone was doing that. Do I have to do that? No, but why not? Like, why wouldn't I want to do that? Like, am I going to copy what they say? Like, hey guys, no, I'm going to say what my personality, I'm going to say what I want to say at the end of my end card. Am I going to put the fan art like exactly how they put the fan art? No, I'm going to put my own spin on it. So it's like, but I think like, I see that having an end card is successful in this community. So it's kind of just like, take notes on what you find is successful, study what people are doing. Something I studied, I took months of literally just watching successful videos in this community and studying them. And I learned that the videos that are the most popular are like kind of fast paced a little bit. Like the ones that are the most popular have strong voices where it's like, I was walking and there's emphasis in their voices. The ones that the videos that aren't as popular are more like, I was walking, and their voices aren't as, attention grabbing or enthusiastic. I have like, my nose is so itchy right here for some reason. I'm sorry, I keep like itching my nose.
You're good. My head just started.
Now I'm inspired to itch my nose.
We're all Zoom.
My hair's like in my. Oh, sorry. The editor's gonna have to edit that. That's right now.
Don't worry. We'll busy. Keep her busy. She's great.
Yeah, you just said something and I forget what
you said. My nose.
What I was gonna say to that.
My nose is itchy.
No, before that.
Talking about. Oh man, you know better, Elle, than I do.
So yeah, my I guess my point is that, first kind of study the basics of the community and like what figure out what you want and how you want to make your videos and stuff like that. And once you kind of do that, you gotta try it. You gotta try it. And your first video is gonna suck. I mean, it's probably gonna suck. But you gotta practice, and the only way to get better is to put out your best right now. And then the next video is going to be better because you went through that experience of putting one out and you learned so much during that experience. So you really just gotta keep going. Like, it's any journey that you decide to take, the key 2 words that I've learned is keep going. Because if you don't keep going, you're not going to find out what you can become. So yeah, everyone that's successful in this community or in any community anywhere are the ones that kept going. and kept learning and didn't stay static in their growth. So keep being creative in terms of figuring out ways to grow. And
I love it.
yeah.
No, one of the I remember what I was gonna say earlier, and it's that, I mean, definitely, I think you've definitely figured out the secret that, you know, this is like, content creation is personality based. It has to be about you as a person, and everything is built around that. And I mean, like, it totally makes sense for you as a storyteller, is that you are bringing your personality to the table, and everything else is kind of built off of that. And the stronger the personality, yeah, and there's definitely an art to, like, you know, how much personality versus how little personality, and there's definitely a sweet spot.
Yeah, I mean, that was something, it's funny because like when I first started YouTube, I had like 4 rules for myself. I wonder if I have them on my computer. Let me just see if I can pull them up. I think I do.
What are the rules?
I had like 4 things I followed for myself.
No, 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 no. I can't even think of a why can't I think of a fourth naughty word? I mean, I can,
Well,
but
just like it crosses the threshold of like swears that are appropriate, like to still be bleeped out, but then swears that aren't appropriate to even say in front of anybody else besides me, right?
I have a feeling.
yeah, I guess so. She was also, Elle was talking about
Sorry.
interns
can't find
slowing her down, and
Oh
so
yeah.
fun
hard
fact, I'm
flashback.
actually a intern at Sean's group right now, so I'm an intern for Sean too.
You know,
Full circle.
I don't
I
want to
slow him down
I
all
don't
the
want to
time.
say interns slow me down. It's just another job. It's just another job to mentor students. I mean, look, if I didn't, you know, if I wanted to just get my shit done, I would just hire freelance. Like, I wouldn't have interns, but I have interns because it's fulfilling for me. Like, it reminds me, I don't know, they remind me of where I was. Like, they're all in college, and like, it reminds me of it fulfills me because it reminds me of how far I've come, and it fulfills me because I get to give back to people like how I wanted so bad to be given. Like,
Yeah,
it's almost like I'm almost like, by giving back to students, it just makes me feel good. Like, but it's when, you know, it's like giving something you wish you had feels so good because, you know, I don't really know why it feels good. Just love feels good.
love, human
Wired
affection.
biologically.
We all crave these things.
Yeah,
That's why I give Sean a hug every day.
that's adorable.
But in order to maintain, you know, good gender roles, I push him away and say, "Get off, get off."
Good. Yeah, that sounds healthy.
Very healthy. It's worked thus far.
I found it.
Yeah, the rules. We're gonna hear the sacred rules.
It's probably gonna be so stupid now that I'm opening it though.
Well, you're stuck
Okay,
now.
I found it. I'm so happy I found it. It's actually not bad. I wrote this when I first started YouTube. This is like what I wrote down that I learned from like studying YouTube and like YouTubers in the community, and like what I felt like was the most important stuff to follow. And I followed these rules. This was always hanging in front of me. And I just want to say before I read them, it was once I started making like money on YouTube, once the views started coming in, once sponsorship deals started, once you should make a Discord, you should make a Instagram, you should make, like, once all these things started fogging my brain, the main root of what my videos were based off of started getting foggy. And I think I like quite literally, I think this piece of paper, I think I took it down because I was like, I need to remind myself of my sponsorships. And I think I put like a sponsorship thing and like in front of it. And it's just like metaphorical that I stopped following these rules for myself, and my things started going downhill. So
The 4 L mandments.
I hope these are good. I don't even know what I'm about to like even read because to be honest,
Don't even think about it. Just do it.
Here's the rules. Ingredients to YouTube success. I wrote authenticity, be yourself, like control your ego, a little hard work, consistency, and then I wrote like formula to views, story combined with personality is everything. Figure out why people should love you, and then use that as your secret weapon. So some people might not know what I mean by that, but you just got to dig a little deeper. I can expand on that maybe, but I'll keep going.
Yeah, a little deeper. Yeah, I was definitely thinking Princess and the Frog too.
Opening always. Okay, so like here's like a logistical thing, like for YouTube videos, like the opening of the video always followed by a grabber. I never wanted to open something without a grabber being attached to it. Like it's like a book. It's like when this was a good way to look at it. Books, when you're at the like Barnes and Noble or something and you're just looking around for a good book, the cover of the book is the first thing that drags your attention. And then you look at the title. Then after looking at those two things, you decide to open it. And that's just like YouTube. A thumbnail and a title is your grabbing. That's what people are going to be attracted to.
Yeah.
And you got to have a really good thumbnail and a really good title. Then they click on it, right? And then you better believe that the second they click on it, if you don't grab them, like you don't have an opening followed by a grabber, because you don't have to grab them right away. You can have an opening and then a grabber. But if you don't have something to hook them in the beginning, they're gonna click off. So that's something. It's a big rule I always followed.
It's one of those things that's so common sense, but when you hear it being said, you all of a sudden you think of like every person you watch. You're like, oh, they have that. They have that. Hey, they all have that. That's how they're getting me. It's the thumbnail grabber.
They all have that. These are like I said, these are the things I wrote down as I studied the successful channels. So like that was something that all the successful big viewed videos had, and then obviously again though, like then there came a point where this YouTuber might like have built such a high reputation for themselves that they don't have to be grabbing people as much anymore. Like the fans just know and love them.
Right.
But in the, these are things that I found worked for my like success or whatever. Every moment must be entertaining. Nothing can be boring for 1 second. That's a little extreme, but that is something I wrote down.
You start with that mindset, then you get as close to that as possible.
100%. That's exactly that's what you should be doing for all of this. Like you start with that mindset, you get as close to it as freaking possible. Exactly. But the shots, if they're I've noticed if they're too static, like meaning it's just the same thing for too long, people are going to get bored and click off. Like keep things cutting, keep things interesting, whether it's in your voice or it's like angles or like just keep things freaking interesting.
I'll start be spontaneous.
Yeah, exactly. Know your audience, focus on what they like, and don't worry about anyone else. That's a big one that that's like one of the biggest things, because the second you get people that really love you, it's like, and then you get all these views or whatever, you start thinking like, I want to impress everybody. I want to please everybody. You can't please everybody. And what comes up will come down. And that's just the fluctuating reality of entertainment, in the entertainment industry in general. So like, Eminem was the best of the best rapper. And then he put out, like, he was literally just going like this in his career. Then he put out like a CD and it was and now he's just, it's Eminem.
BoJack Horseman.
What?
you ever seen BoJack Horseman?
Yeah, I have seen
Yeah.
some.
I mean, the entire thing is just about, like aging celebrities and like who like peaked and now how they're like trying to cope with like the mental health repercussions of like their lives. And it just, your example made me think of that
Yeah,
show.
it's
Just
perfect.
didn't know if you've seen it.
Oh, yeah, maybe I haven't seen that much BoJack Horseman. I've seen like clips, but I should probably watch that.
It gets
It's very entertaining.
I would probably like it. Yeah.
Anyway, you were saying.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. Like basically it's like you end up putting so much pressure on yourself that like your content, I put a lot of pressure on myself that like my content needs to be just as good as the last one. And it just doesn't. It just doesn't. And it shouldn't be about the views. Like if your mindset is about views, you're not going anywhere. If your mindset is about this stuff, you're going places. That was my route. Those were my roots when I started. The views weren't my roots. Let's just put it that way. So once the views started becoming like the root of what I wanted, everything went downhill, including my mental health, but also my views. So anyway, yeah, don't try to please everybody. Just please yourself and the people that love you, the fans that really love you, or the people that really love you, even if it's like 5 people, they'll always have your back. And you'll get more of those people, because as long as you're being true to yourself and you're respecting yourself and you're, it's really all about yourself. It's so hard to explain, but it's like, if you make something you love and then you organically get people that love it because like that's like the ultimate, that's what you really want to achieve. You want to make stuff that you love, and then think about like, oh man, my audience is going to love this because I love this. Like, and they love me. And it's like, if you start worrying about all the people that are not your true like supporters, you're going to be in for like a really, I don't know, a really depressing career.
We haven't had any like, I mean honestly, we haven't had any negative like complaints about Sirius yet, but it's definitely I mean, maybe they will eventually come once we start releasing more stuff and everything like that. So it's a challenge that I have yet to encounter, but I'm mentally preparing myself for it.
Yeah, everyone has a right to express their like opinions and stuff like that, but you do too, and it's kick ass. And like there's a difference between constructive criticism and people that are just assholes.
Hell yeah.
There's a big difference.
And there's a lot of those people out there. Can't let them get you down. Rapid fire question, because I know you're short on time and I appreciate all your time today. In no particular order. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Yeah. Hell yes.
Hell yeah to that too. Celebrity crush.
Underwear or socks?
Both at the same time.
Wait, what? What was the question?
I said
underwear or socks.
John said underwear or socks. So
underwear or socks?
Yeah, if you had to pick, you couldn't go without one. You had to wear one the rest of your life, I guess. Socks.
I mean
socks, yeah.
I need socks. Like
mine was celebrity crush. Mine is Shakira, if that helps.
Anne Hathaway.
Christ. Oh man.
Who's Anne Hathaway? Is that Catwoman?
Anne Hathaway? Are you
kidding me?
She's my celebrity.
Why are you here?
I don't follow pop culture very closely. I know who she is, but I don't know who she is.
Didn't she play Catwoman recently?
Yeah.
Not recently. That was not
she was in Les Mis.
Who should play there?
You should know that.
Eponine? Cosette? No, Eponine was
she played Eponine.
All I know is that every female artist sounds like Halsey now, and every male artist sounds like Sam Smith, and like that's what life is. But anyway, yeah, back to you. Celebrity crush.
Celebrity crush is, God, I don't know. I'm so bad with celebrities. I gotta like go on my phone and think.
Celebrity you admire. It doesn't even have to be a crush.
Celebrity I admire.
It can be ugly as sin.
Who the fuck do I admire? I guess Billie Eilish, I would say.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. And cats or dogs?
Cats or dogs? Oh, dogs.
And thus,
All right, cool.
Rapid fire question.
That was scary.
Oh man, if that was the scariest part of the interview, then I guess we've done a real good job on the softballing of the questions. So, Elle, thanks so much for being on the show. You are great. You have been a fantastic partner for Siriusly Caffeinated and Sirius AI. Any final thoughts for the audience?
Yeah, my final thoughts are I'm sorry I'm a mess today, and I hope like something made sense in this interview, and I love you guys. Thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate your love and kind.
Greatest or humble.
Long, long ago, there lived these joyous, creative creatures called humans, or people. Little bundles of biomatter that inhabited the Earth.
Earth, the third planet from the sun.